Hey everybody, it's John and welcome back to JB Settle Gaming, where today I have kind of an odd video for you. Something that I want to be a message, something that I want to be a channel update, and something that's possibly a goodbye. So let's go ahead and get into that message first of all, because this is the important part of the video. And when I get to the end of the video, you'll see why this is so important to me and why I want to talk about this. This is a video I've been thinking about doing for a really long time, and it's really about why I started this channel and the importance of gaming. See, probably around 5 years back or so, I went through a divorce, and it was a very difficult time, and I was looking for something not only for myself but also to share with my son, something that we could have together that could be kind of ours. And I remembered a while back coming across this game in a store called Heroes. Now this was years ago, and I remember looking at it and thinking, this game maybe looks a little bit more for kids than I would expect. And well, it wasn't in print anymore, and I decided to go online and see if it was worth buying off of eBay, and I came across Tom Vassell and a Dice Tower, something that if you watch any of my board game videos, I'm sure you're familiar with. And well, he had these really in-depth videos about how to play the game, and I was like, oh great. And even though my son at this point was probably a little young to play it, I got into it, and well, it became my main hobby, and I fell in love with board game. I now have a huge collection of HeroesCape, and obviously a lot of other games. I mean, I've done around close to 100 board game videos at this point, and it's become something that's really important to me. And video gaming has always been important to me too. It's something that I shared with my brothers growing up. It's something that I spent a lot of time in. I recently, my mom found a crate at her house that had a lot of my games from the mid-90s, X-Wing and things like that. Meridian 59, the first graphical MUD, they called it MUD at the time, not an MMO, and all kinds of stuff like that. And I was really reminiscing about all the good times I've had throughout my life, both just as myself as something that I've enjoyed and, in my opinion, learned from. I do consider gaming, video gaming, and gaming in general to actually be an art form, in ways like film or stuff like that. And well, and in my later life, board gaming in particular became really important to me because as someone who was kind of on my own, the group of friends that I came into was because of board gaming. The people that I'm still friends with today where I'm at is because of that, and I found it to be, in general, an incredibly welcoming hobby. We have people of very different backgrounds and beliefs and all different kinds of things, and everyone is welcome to come and play, as long as you don't AP too much. But board gaming and gaming in general has really kind of shaped and changed my life in a lot of ways. And when I found how important it was to me that, and here's the deal, I'm not saying it's for everyone. Heck, my fiance doesn't play board games at all, but it's something that's also brought me closer to my son, to her son as well. We've role played together and played games together. My son even went to a weekend convention with me. He's got really into it. It's helped our relationship. It's helped my relationship with people, and helped someone who's pretty nerdy and really not that outgoing start a YouTube channel and do all this, because I wanted to share the joy of it. Because I get there's a lot of people out there with video gaming, say parents who maybe think that video gaming is just a bad thing. And to me, one of my favorite quotes, of which I can't remember who I should attribute it to, is that nothing is intrinsically good or evil, but its manner of usage may make it so. You know what? There's video games out there your kids probably shouldn't play, but at the same time, I've had a lot of great experiences with my son. You can see, I also do every once in a great while, do streaming on Twitch. There's a video I put up with my son and me playing Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. Don't let the name fool you. It's a really cool cooperative game. And, what board gaming has done for me in video gaming, it's really helped me to be a better person, have better relationships, have friends I wouldn't have otherwise. And look, we all have different things in our lives that are important to us. But because of what board gaming has done for me, even if it's not for everyone, it's something I wanted to share with people. Say, hey, Risk and Monopoly and Trivial Pursuit, there's better stuff out there, and if you've had any fun doing that, you can probably have even more fun. Make new friends, find new things with all the great stuff that's out there that most people really don't know about. To this day, when I say that I'm a board gamer, as much as the hobby has grown, it's something that people are like, oh, like Monopoly, is still the most common response. And that's why I started the channel, because I wanted to share what was out there, what I thought was worthwhile. And as I, tried to do more and more stuff and figure out who I am, I tried to focus focus a great deal on if I think something is really going to be right for you, not just for me. A lot of reviewers out there, a lot of popular reviewers out there, I feel like say, this is why I liked or didn't like this game based on my opinions, where I really tried to focus on, hey, this is who I think will enjoy this game. You know, maybe some objective good or bad things and some things that you may dislike or like depending on your taste, and really help people in general decide if a game is right for them, not just if it's right for me. And while usually I research games, and in game, you know, there are going to be games that I enjoy by the time I end up getting them, there have been a few I didn't like, but I still try to point out who might like it. And there have been, you know, games that I really like that I also try to point out, hey, here's why you might not like it. Well, that plan hasn't really worked. I've done that with board games, and with video games, I've tried to focus on indie games people might not hear about otherwise. Now, the reason I started talking about video games is, well, my situation changed. Things went on in my life where, well, I didn't have the time to play video games because I was working so much overtime, and I also didn't have the money to buy board games. And you might say, if I'm working overtime, why didn't I have more money? Well, that's another situation, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But basically, I had to switch to kind of indie games and whatever because it's the only stuff that I had the time or the money to play on occasion. And I tried to point out, here's games I've heard about that might be worth checking out, even if I haven't had the time or money to check it out. I tried to say, here are games that I've played that are definitely worth playing. And, you know, when I do come across a AAA title, like I think the last $60 game I bought was Civ 6, show that off as well, but really try to be a place where for board games people come in and see if something is worth their time. And with video games, maybe show off stuff that people wouldn't have heard about otherwise. Well, that plan hasn't really worked. I have over 200 videos at this point and still under 300 subscribers. And here's the deal. I love doing this. I do this because I love doing this. I want to share. And, you know, occasionally when I get a comment like, hey, you should have more subscribers or whatever, you know, that's great. And I really appreciate it. And I do this for the love of gaming because I want to share that. And if you really want to see in one of my videos on the Video Game of the Year video, I get into this a little bit. I think it's the first of the two videos where I talk about my biggest disappointment in video gaming that year, and I talk about how successful YouTubers you know, have taken advantage of their fans' fandom and taken advantage of people and made it about profits and just flat out lied to people. And while I've tried to be as open and honest and consumer friendly as I can be, well, being an adult who isn't zany, who isn't particularly attractive or have the greatest voice, someone who doesn't have the greatest technical skills to make things or the time or money to invest to be able to do those things, well, I was kind of hoping things would work out and trying to be a board game reviewer who, you know, tried my best to help you decide whether a game was worth it for you or not, not just for me, and a PC video game reviewer who tried to show, you know, stuff you might not have heard about otherwise and try to give fair reviews of stuff you may have heard about. Well, it hasn't worked out, and I've put, you know, even though I don't have the highest production value, I don't have the greatest money to put into it, but I've put as much time and money as I can put into it. And while I love all you guys for watching, I think it's been great, well, I've gotten to the point where I'm not sure I should continue doing this, because doing it for love of the game, if you will, love of the games, you know, it hasn't led to a single penny, and not that I definitely didn't start out trying to do it, but if I want to continue doing it, I have to get to the point where I can request review copies, maybe make money on advertisements or something like that, or get big enough to start a Patreon or something like that, because situations has changed. Over the last year, well, not me personally, but my fiance has been dealing with the situation. She's been out of work a lot, and I will put up the link if you guys are interested. I'm actually doing a GoFundMe so that when she recovers through everything that she's going through, maybe we can have a little bit of time together, do a little bit of trip. But I'm not going to get into details about that here. If you guys want to check that out, like I said, I'll put the link in it. Basically, I'm a gamer who loves gaming, and I want to share the importance of gaming. And the message I want to get across is, we've always lived in a world with issues, and I remember when I was very young, and, you know, the concerns about you know, nuclear warfare, and we've always had new concerns, but it seems like nowadays in the world today, not only do we have concerns on a large scale, but we have concerns in that we have two groups. No matter what the issues is, there's groups that are separated from each other. They have their facts, and those are their facts, and the other team has their facts, and no one's willing to listen to anyone else's facts. And the idea of facts don't even really seem to exist anymore, because anyone can go to a media who is now an entertainment service who provides to what they want to know, and we don't communicate. We shout at each other from across the aisle. And I think we're living in a more and more difficult world, not just in the broad scale of things, but on the small scale of things. And it concerns me. And I guess I do this because I still find value in things. I find value in being able to sit across the table from someone with a different opinion than me and enjoy a game, or play over the internet, or whatever that case may be. And I just feel like it's something that's important. And at this point, I've kind of decided, because of the situations going on and the time needed for other things, that it may be best to... Sorry about the stop there, but actually my wonderful fiance, who you can read about in my GoFundMe page, actually just brought me breakfast. But because of everything that's been going on, I think it may be best to bring the channel to an end. I love gaming, I love doing this, but I have a lot going on in my life, and to devote the amount of money, the amount of time that I do to this channel, and it hasn't been a ton of money. I've stopped buying board games, but even the fact that the amount of time, especially lately, I don't know if I can justify doing it anymore. If for some reason my channel catches on, if people are like, hey, you know what, we want someone who's about the love of gaming, if some famous board gamer out there or some YouTuber out there, you know, gets a hold of this and wants to spread it around, and all of a sudden people subscribe to the channel, you know, people follow me on Twitch that I don't really do anymore because I've got like 3 followers. It's the same thing, JB Settle Gaming on there. You know, maybe I'll consider it and come back to it. Maybe if life situations change, this will be something that I'll get back to doing right now. But as for now, I think I'm going to have to put a hold on things. I love gaming, I love doing this, but I'm in a situation where I probably need to be devoting my time to other things. If somehow this is something I come back to because life situation changes, if somehow, some reason, somebody gets a hold of something that I do, gets on Reddit, and people are like, hey, you know what, let's support somebody trying to do this, whether it be on Board Game Geek for the board gaming side, or the, you know, Reddit for video gaming side, or whatever, that's great. And maybe I can come back and do this more, but you know what, I can't invest, I can't continue to invest in buying games, I can't continue to invest the time into doing videos when I'm just not in a place that I can do this. So I want to say, you know what, I love gaming, and I love all of you who have watched and supported the channel. I love you guys who have got me into the hobby and helped me along the way. The guys that I've watched your videos for, obviously Tom Vassell, Rado, Joel Eddy, Watch It Played. I briefly was on one of the videos there with a response. You know, thank all of you for everything you do. Keep up the great work. And on, you know, the video gaming side as well, whether or not you like Jim Sterling, he's certainly interesting, and I enjoy their podcast, the Optional Podcast, the Roundtable Podcast. You know, I am able at least to listen to a lot of things while I do stuff, so I appreciate you guys out there, and it's all stuff that I recommend and check out if I'm not around. Oh, and for video game reviews, check out ACG. That guy is awesome. He's definitely growing lately. Been watching him for a long time. Probably the best reviewer out there, and deserves a lot of credits. So basically what I want to say is keep on loving games, keep on spreading the word, and even if it's not games, whatever it is, keep on spreading whatever it is that can bring us across the table, get us spending time together, get us spending time enjoying each other, and spending time with each other and understanding each other, so that, you know, maybe it's a little bit of a bridge to help us get past these points in time where it seems like everyone is so far away from each other. And, you know, I also got into this in part from my son, and I've really enjoyed doing my videos with him. And I'll put a few links. You know what? If somehow this gets shared, if somehow people notice this little video, I'll put a few links of stuff that I did. Maybe my Game of the Year stuff, maybe my Scythe review or something. I know somebody said that, you know, they thought that I did a very concise job with that, you know. But if I don't come back, you know, thank you. Thank you, everyone. it's meant a lot. It's meant a lot to share something I love and to try and spread it. It hasn't spread as much as I hoped it would, but I still really have enjoyed my time. And maybe if situations change, if somehow I catch on, or we get to a point down the road where life is in a better place, then I would be more than happy to come back. So don't unsubscribe maybe if that happens, but if you do, I totally get it, because I would love to be back and do this again. But for right now, I've got things I've got to focus on, because as much as I love gaming, obviously, family is even more important. So last of all, just thank you. Keep on gaming, keep on enjoying each other's company, keep on learning from each other and trying to bridge that gap. And I'm not saying video gaming or board gaming is going to save the world, but I think it's something that can also be used for good, and that's what I've tried to share. Hopefully you guys have appreciated that. Those of you who have watched my stuff, thanks a lot for watching. And I don't know, I probably won't be talking to you again soon, but if it does ever happen again, I look forward to it. And if it doesn't, thanks a lot for watching. Keep on gaming, keep on enjoying each other. Bye.